Back here again, sat in front of my little fridge here, a few days later than I planned. I've been away working on our race bike project, the old Diamond Mob Triumph there this last weekend, getting ready for a meeting in a couple of weeks. But in the meantime, we've got a new set of seals, a load of washers, some bits of here we're not going to use. Bleed nipples, that's not stainless, that's not going in, but we've got some new pins and yeah, crossover seals, everything we need, I think. So I've left these pistons marinating here in this bit of petrol, just give them a bit of a clean up. So I'll scrub them up, make sure they're all nice and fresh, and then carry on from where I left off with the previous video, nailing this caliper back together. And I'll do the same with the other one I part finished last time. So yeah, get in and get stuck in. So just dried all that lot off. These are cleaned out the other day. What we had here was a load of aluminium corrosion under the seals here, so I had to dig all that out, wash it. In fact, there's still a little bit there. If you look there, you just see it. You know, that's all the stuff we had to dig out. Holding those two top pistons real tight, really tight. So that's been washed out now. I'll give it a final dust down with the airline in a minute. Get rid of the final dried up bits of crap. These have been cleaned off, laid out all our new seals, making sure all the bits are there before we start. Yeah, it's a pretty good little kit this, but the bleed nipple there isn't stainless, so we'll be sticking with our other one. Also the two little screws in there, they're only aluminium. I don't fancy putting aluminium screws back in that, so we'll stick with these stainless ones that someone's put in previously. We have got a new pin and a new R-clip there, so that's a bonus. And yeah, a little rubber thing, stop the shit getting down your bleed nipple. So yeah, I'll just go and give these a final dust out with the airline, and then set about like dipping them in the oil red, put it all back together. It's okay, so start the top and work our way down on it. This rubber grease, this red stuff, this can help to stop this happening again so quickly. If anyone lives by the seaside or the river, like I do here, they'll be used to calipers binding up all the time. Some people just wet these with a bit of brake fluid and stuff them back in. Of course, that'll dry out. And, or sort of seal it off from the air, you know, because aluminium, when it hits salt, it don't get on. When we went racing a few years ago at the old Bonneville Salt Flats, we put our bike back in the container, and when we went and fetched it from the port down at the Felixstowe, I think, brought it back up to Liverpool. We opened the crate and the petrol taps had disappeared. They just weren't there anymore because the salt that had been left on the bike had just ate the aluminium. The engine case is still sweat salt now, 5 years on. Let's them back together again. I am just going to reinvestigate that one there because that seemed tighter than the others. Maybe it just needs a bit more of a clean behind it. So I'm going to set that back up here, whip it out and just do it again. And I'll be back here in a minute. So I just double checked that fella with the old tool I made the other day, and that just pulls in and out nicely. That's perfect. So yeah, worried about not on there, so that's okay. Always better to double check them. Alright, so I've got these little fellas now for these little crossover galleries. So, I'll just give a little coating of the red stuff on them, just to help them seat. See, the corrosion has actually got between them two in the past, so this will just help that from getting any worse. Right, so that's them in there, that's that on there. So hammer that fella on. Normally I'd use a bit of molly slip on these, but in the absence of it, this red stuff will do. And I don't think it's going to be a problem for me, because even though I'm going to be riding this bike in all weathers, and in fact I'm going across to Holland in a couple of weeks on it, I'll have this apart so regular. Well, every 12 months, every winter probably, Christmas service time, to stop this ever being a big problem like it was again. When I got this bike, I found it rotting away in a garden, and yeah, it wasn't a bad way, you know. On the surface, it looked like, at a glance, it looked like a dead good bike, but in reality, it wasn't. It'd been badly maintained, badly neglected, and then on top of all that parked up. Right, we're not going to do them super tight just now, because I'm going to put the whole thing in the vise and put a little bit more power onto that. That's well said. That's good. That's like 5 over ugga that. Right, so, back down here. Now I put them 2 little centre pops on that to designate the inside pad. I'll tell you what I'll do first as well. Just put a bit of weatherproofing in that hole. That's 2 dots, that's 1 dot. I think about making YouTube videos, no radio. You always try and get away from me these things, but I keep them captive. Alright, we don't need to swing on that. Okay, so that's ready to fall back on the bike. I'll crack this little fella off here. In fact, it looks like I might have forgotten to do that previously. So that's good. I can go on there. I'll just nip him up for now, and I'll go and get that back on the bike. I'll quickly swap out the seals in the other one, and then I'll get to bleeding it up. Okay, I hope you can see that all right. It's a little bit bright out there, but I'm just going to put this caliper back on. Shouldn't go any other way, but just make sure the pads are either side of the disc. Reading the manual, there will be a torque setting for that. I'll call that 6.5 ugga. Whenever you refit your banjo bolt, should be obvious, but we'll always fit 2 new copper washers. Unless you've got the means of re-annealing them, but they're about 7p each, probably not worth it, eh? don't go mega on that, just not even one ugga dugga. On the bin. Right. Reset down to the side. So we're back to where we started again at the beginning of the first video. Apologies about the background noises. Some shitbox playing shitball. Don't mind too much, providing it doesn't flipping come over and start bouncing off my crap like. Too much on that one because they're hollow. You can bust them off if you go mental on them. That's all right. That's all done. I've video checked these nuts and bolts, same as I did the others off camera. Always worth double checking everything again. You know, just or if you've got a mate handy, get your mate just to go over all the nuts and bolts. You're messing around with brakes here, so it's not worth dicking about. You know, just double check everything. Right, I'll rig this up again and see if I can record a bit of the brake bleeding. Yeah, I don't quite know how I'm going to do that, but I'll have a go. Okay, so here we are with the bleeding. Not exactly apparatus, nothing scientific about this. Got all coffee jar with some brake fluid in the bottom of it. We've got an 8mm spanner loaded on the bleed nipple there. I've got an old rag and I've soaked out all the old brake fluid out the master cylinder, topped it up with some fresh stuff, and I let the bleed nipples like air for a minute, vent for a few minutes while I had a quick beer, like, and that sort of helps the caliper to prime itself and fill up. We should be quite close to bleeding up. What it won't do is get the air out the lines that has sort of made its way up while that's been happening. You can't do anything about that. But while I was investigating this little bike here, I found something which I've never seen before. So bring it over here. The banjo bottom, the master cylinder's got a bleed nipple on it. Now, quite often I crack off these with the lever pressed in as a way of getting the air out quicker. You know, stuff a load of rags down here to catch all the brake fluid so you don't knack it up, you know, all your paintwork. But yeah, that's going to make our job easier. So I'll try and fill the bottom up first, and then we'll have a little go with that and see if that thing actually works. So if that works out like I think it does, I'm going to be fitting that to every bike I do. I'll just put you back. Okay, let's give it a shot. See what we can do here. As I say, I've got an 8mm spanner loaded on the bleed nipple. going to try and crack this off a couple of times to see which way we get it. Straight away I see some air coming into the pipe, so that's a good thing. Any little bits of air that you get out, that's all a step in the right direction. This can take 2 minutes or it can take 2 hours. Oh, yeah, that's good. And again. Obviously, never let your reservoir get right down. Don't brim it, because it's wide open there, and you're going to be turning the handlebars. We're getting rid of all that now. These are filling up real fast, real nice. Again, apologies for the noise. Can't do nothing about shit spark neighbours. Or neighbours' shit sparks. That's why I've got loads of motorbikes. Couldn't be arsed for that shit. Every time I crack this off, I get a big bubble. I'll leave it down. That. I'll leave it down here for a closer look. I'm hoping that my hand won't. My hand's going to get in the way, but you see that little ball of air in there. So I pop the lever a few times, hold the lever in, and then we just crack that guy off. Let's see if I can have the position there. That might have shown, I don't know. Pump, crack, air, good. Loads of air. So yeah, get it back up there now. I'll just carry on doing this until no air comes out. Low on the old reservoir there. Top it up. There's rust on the top of that tin. This brake fluid's only like 400 years old. Balance that there, but it can fall over in a minute. I think I'm just going to be looking at bubbles for a while here, so I'm going to now put you on the old fast forward. Skip this bit if if you're not interested, but I'll let you know what I've done in the meantime. Right, I think I've got this side full now, so I'm going to go over the other side, but save me reaching over the bike. As it happens, my next door neighbour Michelle's just turned up, so she's going to do the hard lever thing. She knows what she's doing. She's a biker herself. She's done this job before, so we'll just I'll do the spanner thing, she'll do the lever thing, and we'll just shout at each other, you know. Yeah, so crack on it. So what we do like before, do the old take a little load of times, right, all the way to the bar, and then tease it a little bit, just so you hear the clicks, and you look for the bubbles there. You see the bubbles that coming up, that's it, that's coming up there. Right, so go all the way all the way out, so that means the piston's past the filler hole, if you like. Right, so if you do little teasers like that, you see the bubbles start coming up, and then do one big one straight after. And just go. See, any little bubbles like that, or sometimes it looks like dust coming up. See, yeah, the tiny bubbles, because I've got most of them out already, you see. But always let it go all the way out. Yeah, every time you pull it, it's got to go all the way out. Right. Okay, so yeah, tease that. Right, now you pull that in and hold it. Oh, just hold it all the way in. All the way in. All the way in. Right, hold it. Okay. Now tease it again. Okay, and all the way in tight. Hold it. Okay, tease it again. All the way in. That's it, we'll start now. Right, I'll tease it again. I'll wrap it up from here. I'll go and get a lid and I'll smash this thing round the back, see what's what, and then probably come back and just give that another little blade, make sure we're there. But feeling that feels real good. I'm fairly confident that we won't find any dramas there. Yeah, so don't take this as like any kind of lesson or whatever. You know, I am actually an idiot. I just like messing around with bikes. It's what I do. So yeah, I want to find some little country roads and have a little wobble around and see what this thing does. Thanks for watching. Hope it helps. Appreciate all the subscriptions. Appreciate all the likes. Thanks for all the comments. Love yous. Keep it in the dishes.